All right, we're back on to air conditioning on this CT 200H hybrid Lexus. Just finished the recharge on it, and you can see the subcooling. Let's see if we can get it down there. Come on, focus. Come on, Apple. You can do it. Maybe Apple can't do it today. Apple doesn't want to do it. There we go. So, can you see the condenser? Do you see this hot picture? Do you see that dark line down there in the condenser? That is your liquid. That is your subcooling rows on your condenser. Your receiver is over there. You see how hot that receiver is? And do you see the heat coming in that upper fitting, how glowing red that is? So if you look where it says MAX max, it's 90 degrees. So let me get up there and show you what you were looking at. You're looking at this fitting right here is 90 degrees. You're seeing that shadow is this bottom row right here. This is your liquid coming out of your receiver dryer. There's your receiver, and the liquid comes out right in here, and it only fills these bottom few rows. Up there, above that, it's all gas. And that is exactly what you're seeing right there. That dark line is your subcooling line of liquid. Now, here's the temperature readings on this one. Look at that flat line. That flat line, it doesn't cycle up and down, doesn't cut on and off, like with the clutch going on and off. It's constantly steady, not even plus or minus 1 degree difference. Look at here, we're at minute number 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going into minute number 7. Over here, 48.6 degrees. Over here, 48.6 degrees. How much more steady can you get? This is what happens when computers take over. You have a high voltage 3-phase compressor, electric compressor inside there. Let's go over the pressures. Let's look at that. That's the pressures. It looks like the compressor is not even running. Like if you had a hard shutoff valve, look at the pressure. 78 PSI, 79 PSI, 79.9 PSI on the high side. This is normal. Do not go by the old geezers who use the jerk-off cans and tell you you're supposed to be 130 PSI, or I look for 150. Or there's one guy on YouTube, he makes electrical components, and he has some air conditioning videos. He says, yeah, cars are all around 200 PSI. Yeah, if you keep on pumping in refrigerant to get this to go to 100 PSI right now, you're gonna be in a world of hurt when this car goes out on a real hot day. Look at the low side pressure. 33.7 PSI. Let's go over here at minute number 8. 33.5 PSI. This is normal. You really got to get, if you've watched enough of my videos and you've seen them cycle up and down, you've seen normal vehicle. I could have another vehicle. I could have like an old BMW right here, and the high side pressure would go up to 270 PSI right now. And it'd sit right next to this car, inside this garage, no sun on it, no heat load, and it would go to 270 PSI. This one only does 80 PSI, 79 PSI. So how can you get a rule of thumb or some sort of average? What else do we got here? Let's go back. So our superheat on this one right now as it stands is 10 degrees superheat. Our subcooling, look at how low that subcooling is. Only 5 degrees. There's no TX or internal expansion. Oh geez, internal heat exchanger tube on this one. This is straight suction line and liquid line. No internal heat exchanger. So we're not getting additional subcooling by an extra internal stomach. This is natural, sitting that low by itself. In residential, you would be saying, oh my God, it's low on charge. It's an expansion valve system. Right there is sitting the expansion valve, but it only has a 6 subcool. It's not low. That is charged up to 470 grams, what the manufacturer requires by weight. not guessing, squirting in cans and going by some pressure or going by dash. You could see a little condensation starting to form right here. It's getting so cold that we're getting the condensation going. And I think that's it right now. Everything available at TruTech Tools. You have the field piece transducers for your temperature sensors of your liquid lines to get the temperature of your refrigerant. So the field piece software has the math formulas and does all the math for you to figure out your superheat, your subcooling, your liquid saturation. Don't try to use liquid saturation on cars. It doesn't always work. And don't always try to use superheat or subcooling on cars. This is not residential air conditioning fixed. Actually, Toyota, Lexus does have a feature in their TechStream software that's called diagnostic mode for air conditioning, where they use the computer to do a fixed RPM of the compressor, what they know is to be correct for testing their system. They fix the fan speeds exactly where they need to be to move the amount of airflow for what they know is the test conditions or for their system, and the dash fan, and it puts everything into a test mode and will test the refrigerant charge as close as they could get it with their software that they programmed into the computer. Only under those conditions can you go by, and this is where you would record and data log the superheat and subcooling to find out what is right. When you put your TechStream, you hear this guys on Prius Chat and other Prius guys, you put the system into test mode and then data log, and now you could start saving up all these data log recordings and start finding out for that year, make, model vehicle, what is a normal superheat, what is a normal subcooling, only when it's put into test mode. Now, all this is all off and not right if you put on a cheap aftermarket condenser that has fewer fins per inch, fewer cooling refrigerant passage tubes, and fewer internal refrigerant line cooling fins that are internal of the tubes. When you use an aftermarket like that, the factory Toyota or Lexus self-diagnosing refrigerant is all out the window. You could just throw it away because they used an aftermarket condenser. So the aftermarkets, I could tell you where to go. And for you salesmen, you scum-sucking low-life pieces of crap who import this garbage, I'm not saying all of them are garbage, but the ones who do, don't argue with me, dude. If me and you are in the same room, let's go toe-to-toe. Come on, right now. That's it. See you guys. Remember the best leak detector. The other one is the H10. You could go down, but the Infracon D-Tech Stratus, it's really sensitive and good on the YF refrigerant. Really good on the YF refrigerant. And don't forget to use your Nylog on all your seals, especially when you are attaching your couplings, so you protect your O-rings and don't have vacuum leaks. And if you do want something really good, the micro leak detector by Big Blue, TruTech Tools is the place to go. I'll see you guys later. Adios.